I am 28 years old. My name is Rhonda. I am together with Dylan, who is 32. We met about a year ago, but I am also in love with another man. His name is Miles. I am in a relationship with him as well. I can't choose between them. I realize that I have to. It is becoming unsustainable. Dylan and I live apart. We talk about moving in together. We spend a lot of time together, usually 4 to 5 days a week, but we live far from each other, about 24 miles. It's impractical. I have to pack a bag every time, plan my clothes, bring work-related things. About a year into our relationship, I meet Miles. I met him at a work event, a networking party with clients and partners. He was standing by the bar and getting a lot of attention from the women there. He is 45 years old. He is successful. He runs his own consulting firm. Well-groomed, fit, confident, and a bit dominant. When he talked to me, I felt something immediately. Quite a big difference compared to Dylan. Dylan is softer. He works as a teacher. We have a nice time together. Laugh a lot. Talk about the future. But Miles was something else. He is much more exciting, and being with him feels more like an adventure. I fell for him immediately. We exchanged numbers that evening. He texted me the next day. We met for a drink, then for dinner. I never said that I had a boyfriend. I chose to start a relationship with Miles even though I was already with Dylan. It went well in the beginning. Miles works a lot. He travels often. We saw each other maybe once or twice a week. It was easy to explain to Dylan that I had overtime, that I had dinners with colleagues, that I was tired and needed to sleep at home. But now about 2 months have passed. Miles wants to see me more. Dylan also wants us to see each other more since we are talking about moving in together. It feels harder and harder to keep the two relationships separate. I have to keep track of what I've said to whom, which stories I've told, what I have scheduled. I love them both. It's not that I'm just using either of them. I want to be with Dylan because he is safe, caring. We can talk about everything. He makes me feel at home. Miles makes me feel alive, attractive, exciting. He challenges me, makes me grow. I don't know what to do. I can't choose. So Reddit, what do I do? How can I have my cake and eat it too? First update. I was advised to end one of the relationships. People wrote that it isn't fair to either of them, that I'm exposing them both to health risks they don't know about, that I'm playing with their feelings. Many wrote that I should end both relationships. They wrote that Dylan and Miles don't deserve to be deceived, that I abused their trust, that I am selfish and immature. Some comments were harsh. They called me things I don't want to repeat. They wrote that I'll get what I deserve, that karma will catch up with me. A few were more understanding. They wrote that love is complicated, but even they believed that I had to be honest. But I am in love with both of them. I don't know how to do this. The thought of losing either of them hurts me physically. I can't eat. I can't sleep properly. I lie awake at night thinking about it. I'm considering a solution. Maybe I can ask Dylan if he would consider lending me to Miles. Make it into a sexual game between us, a kind of role play. Then I could let Miles believe he is the only one. Then I could have them both. Miles is a real alpha male. He is used to getting what he wants. I don't think he would agree to share me, not even if he were primary. He seems like the monogamous type. Dylan, on the other hand, is softer. He is easier to get to agree to things. We've talked about those kinds of fantasies before when we were intimate. He didn't seem dismissive. I think he could consider it, even if he protested at first. I could convince him, say that it's something we do together. For our sake. I know that it would be manipulating him. I know it's wrong. But I don't want to lose him either. I don't want to lose Miles. They are two personalities that complement each other. Dylan gives me stability. Miles gives me passion. Both fantastic in their own ways. Second update. I got a lot of backlash for my previous update. People were angry that I was considering manipulating them both, especially Dylan. They believed that I should break up with both of them immediately. Let them find someone else who appreciates them, who doesn't lie, who doesn't expose them to risk. One user wrote that Dylan seemed like a good guy, that he deserved better. It hurt to read because I know it's true. Reddit users asked how I managed to keep two relationships going like this, how I have time, how I don't get caught, how I keep all the lies together. I split my time between them. I make excuses with work and other commitments. I say that I have to work overtime, that I have projects, that I have dinners, that I have to visit my parents. That allows me to free up space in my calendar for both of them. Keep everything separate. I have a calendar on my phone just for this. It's locked with an extra password. There I mark when I'm with whom, what I've said to each, which excuses I've used. It's necessary to avoid being exposed. I almost never sleep at my own apartment anymore. 3 nights at Dylan's, 2 nights at Miles's, maybe 1 night at home. Sometimes none. I'm only home to get clothes, pay bills, pick up mail. My apartment doesn't feel like my home anymore. It feels like a storage unit. It's exhausting now. It's hard to make this work. In the long term, it won't work. I've realized that. I'm tired all the time, and keeping track of what I've done and what I've said is draining. Once I mentioned a movie I had seen with Miles while talking to Dylan. He asked when we had seen it. I had to make up that I had seen it alone. It was close. I do agree that I'm lying to them. They believe they are in monogamous relationships with me, but I'm careful to keep watertight separation between them. I have rules for myself. For example, I'm not intimate with one of them and then immediately with the other. I think that's dishonest. I know it sounds strange, that I think one thing is dishonest but not the whole situation, but I still have a boundary. I don't go straight to Dylan's after being with Miles. Not even if we haven't been intimate. I always go home and shower in between. Change clothes. Make sure I don't smell like someone else's perfume. Dylan uses a certain type of shower gel. Miles uses another. I can't smell like Miles when I meet Dylan. I'm careful about those things. I even have 2 different bags. One for when I'm with Dylan, one for when I'm with Miles, so I don't mix things up. Another thing that's come up lately is that I'm worried about relaxing during sex with Dylan. The experience with Miles is completely different, and boundaries I had with Dylan, I don't have with Miles. What if I let him do something with me that only Miles does? Dylan would become suspicious immediately and ask where that came from. I would have to lie even more. I understand that I have to make a decision. The decision has become to ask Dylan if he would consider sharing me with another man. I've hinted at that when we've been intimate. Said things like it would be exciting if someone else watched, that I wonder what it would feel like. He seemed to respond well. He got aroused when I said it. Until now it was just a fantasy. I don't know what he'll say when I ask for real. But it's my best chance to keep them both. If Dylan agrees, I can tell him that I'm seeing Miles, that it's part of our game, that Miles doesn't know about it, that it makes it even more exciting. And Miles never has to know about Dylan. He believes we're exclusive. I continue seeing him as usual. Third update. Reddit's comment section exploded after my last update. Hundreds of comments. People wrote that I'm a psychopath, that I have no conscience, that Dylan should run as fast as he can. I got a lot of backlash for my plan. People wrote that it was sick, that I would destroy Dylan, that I was exploiting him. But I did it anyway. I couldn't wait any longer. The situation was becoming unsustainable. Miles started asking why we couldn't see each other more often. Dylan started talking more concretely about moving in together. I had to do something. Dylan and I had been intimate. It was a Friday night. We had been drinking wine. We had a good time. We were lying in bed afterward. I did the same thing again as before. Brought up ideas about him sharing me with another man, that I thought it sounded exciting, that I fantasized about it. He responded well. He got aroused by it. So when we were done and cuddling, I asked if he could consider it for real. I said I'd thought a lot about it, that I wanted to explore it, that I wanted to do it with him. He laughed a little at me. He clearly thought I was joking. He said something about me being crazy. I asked again. I hinted that it wasn't a joke. I said I was serious. He stiffened a bit. Silence. He looked at me, asked if I was serious. I nodded. Then he said no. Just straight out, no. I tried to explain that it could be a fun adventure for both of us. That many couples do it. That it could give us something new. That we'd grow closer. That it's about trust. He didn't respond well at all. He sat up in bed. He looked confused. He asked why I wanted to do it, why I brought it up. I tried to explain, said it was a fantasy, that I wanted to try it. He said outright that he would never agree to something like that. He is fundamentally monogamous, not poly. He said he doesn't understand people who are, that it's not his thing. I tried again, said it didn't have to be serious, that it would just be once, to test it. He said no again, firmly. Then he asked if there was someone specific I had in mind. I said no quickly, that it was just a fantasy. After that I dropped it. I said it was okay, that we didn't have to talk about it anymore, but I could see that he was disappointed, maybe even a little hurt. The rest of the evening was strange. He was quieter than usual. I tried to act normal, talk about other things, but it felt like something had changed. When I went home the next day, he was still a bit different. Kissed me quickly, said goodbye at the door. Didn't walk me downstairs like he usually does. Maybe I would have to work on him more. Try again in a few weeks, maybe approach it differently. It was disappointing. I am completely sure that Miles would never agree to something like this. He's not the type who shares, he wants me to himself. The goal had been to make Dylan secondary, not tell Miles anything at all. Let Miles believe we were monogamous, and let Dylan believe he was secondary in an open relationship, kind of like a cuck, without him knowing about Miles. I don't really know what to do. I have to rethink. Maybe there's another way. Fourth update. The Reddit post went completely wild, over 1,000 comments. People wrote that Dylan had every right to say no, that I was trying to pressure him, that I was manipulative. Some users were a bit smug that it didn't work. They wrote that it served me right and that I would lose them both soon. They were right. Both relationships are now over. It happened completely unexpectedly. I walked into an ambush when I was supposed to go to Miles. A couple of days after I brought this up with Dylan, I told Dylan that I had a late meeting at work, that I would sleep at home. Instead, I was going to Miles on Monday, so I would sleep one night at home. We were going to cook together and have a cozy evening. When I arrived and rang the doorbell, Miles opened the door. He looked strange, serious. He let me in without kissing me like he usually does. I asked if something was wrong. He said we had company. I didn't understand what he meant. I went into the living room. Dylan was sitting on Miles's couch waiting for me. I froze. I couldn't breathe. My brain tried to understand what I was seeing. Why was Dylan here? How did he know where Miles lived? Dylan looked at me. He didn't look happy. I had never seen him look like that. Miles closed the door behind me and told me to sit down. I sat in the armchair. My legs were shaking. Apparently, Dylan had become suspicious after our conversation about lending me. It wasn't just what I said that night. It was everything together. All the times I'd been busy, all the excuses, all the nights I slept at home. He said something didn't add up, that it hadn't for a long time. He had managed to take my phone when I put it down to sleep the night after our conversation. I usually always have it in my hand when I fall asleep. But that night I was so tired. I had drunk more wine than usual. It hadn't locked yet. He was able to go through it. Find the conversation with Miles. Read all the messages. He told this in a calm voice, said that at first he didn't want to believe it, that he thought it was a misunderstanding, but then he read more, saw dates, saw how long it had been going on, how I had lied, how I had played them both. He contacted Miles via Messenger that same night, wrote that he was my boyfriend, that he had found their conversation. Miles didn't believe him at first, thought it was some kind of joke, but Dylan sent pictures of us. They both realized that I had deceived them. They talked, first through messages, then over the phone. They compared when I was with whom, when I said I was working, when I said I was at home. Everything lined up. They decided to confront me together. They wanted to see me explain it. It was not a pleasant situation. Miles said that I was a cheating slut, that he never would have touched me if he had known. I protested. I said that I didn't do it just to have sex. I tried to explain that I was in love with both of them. Just because it looks that way doesn't mean that it is. Miles asked how it couldn't mean that. Dylan said nothing. He just looked at me. I tried to explain, said that I didn't know how to choose, that I didn't want to hurt anyone. Miles asked how this wouldn't hurt them. I had no answer. I had to sit there for 25 minutes, listening as Miles calmly proved that it was true. He listed all the times I had lied, all the excuses I'd used, all the evenings I said I was somewhere else. Dylan filled in with his parts. They had the full picture. I couldn't deny anything. I tried to apologize. Miles interrupted me, said that it didn't matter, that he was done with me. Dylan stood up, said that he was done too. I begged them not to do anything rash, that we could talk about it, that we could work it out. Miles said there was nothing to work out. Dylan walked toward the door. I stood up, tried to take his arm. He pulled it away, opened the door and left. Miles told me to leave as well. I tried to keep talking. He pointed at the door and said that if I didn't leave, he would call the police. When I left, I was crying uncontrollably. Mascara streaks on my cheeks, my legs shaking. I could barely walk. I stood outside Miles's building for 10 minutes before I managed to drag myself home to my own apartment. It was probably one of the worst moments of my life. Both of them dumped me on the spot. I tried calling Dylan the next day. He didn't answer. I sent messages. He blocked me. I tried Miles. Same thing. Blocked everywhere. They didn't want to talk to me. I had lost both of them, even if it wasn't exactly how they would have wanted.
If you liked this story, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot, and you won't miss out on any future stories. Take care and live your best life.